Here we have a 2019 e-Golf SEL Premium. This one is in a black exterior, black interior. As always, we'll start with the gas cap here. The car does have to be unlocked for it to be pushed to be open, so let's do that now. Boop. Car's unlocked. You have your charger in here. Let's get some more light. Now through the charger, this is going to be your level 1, the one that's provided with the car, in your trunk. And you pull this off for a level 2 charge, and you'll use the whole outlet. Now in your home, if you want charging now, when you plug in, this is the light that will appear. If you have delayed charging set in the car, then this is the light that will appear, showing that there's a time until the charge will take effect. Close that, move on to the trunk. You open the trunk by using the logo. The camera also appears through here. It comes through right there, so you'll hear that activating. Now, something we'll throw out. You do have a pump for slime for the tire, as there are no spare tires here. And I will have to find the charger as well. It seems like it's missing here. Now I'll get you a charger in before you leave. But that's how your trunk looks. This is detachable right there. You just remove it by the strings. Sorry. There you go. So you just detach it from the strings and it pops out. The seats are collapsible on each side, and there is a ski rack that you can't see because it's a little bit dark here tonight. From the side, it's all leather in here, and here's the notches again. You can access them through here. Now coming to the door, to unlock the door, you just put your hand in there. One time we'll do just the driver door. You got to take your hand out and go a second time to do all the doors. To lock them, you put your hand right there on the notch. And then if somebody left a window down, you can do a second time and hold your hand there and it will lock all the windows. So to repeat, to lock the doors, one time. To lock all the windows, you got to go a second time and it'll close the windows for you. To open the door, one time we'll do just the driver door. You got to go a second time and it'll do all the doors. This is programmable inside the car, and I'll show you how to do that. Now once we get into the vehicle here, you have all your switches right over here and your mirror control. So you put it to whichever mirror you want, the left or the right, and then you push it around like a joystick to control the position. If you flip it upside down, that activates your heated side mirrors. Going into the car, we do have a digital dash here. And on the e-Golf, make sure you have your foot on and start the car. And this is how the car looks like. You got to make sure that it's at that 0 mark, because if you put the car in accessory mode, for example, see, it's on the off position right over here. There it is. And then when we fully start the car with our foot on the brake, there is full on mode. Now here, the radio off. Now when you get in the car, you can use the up and down arrows to select which driver you are. Driver 1, driver 2, this memorizes the setting of your digital screen, digital dash, and your screen right here on the side. Press OK to enter that driver. And the way I describe it, the silver buttons are categories, so you can pick through assist systems, navigation, whichever one you want. Now we'll stay on driving data, press OK, enters that category, and use the up and down arrows on the side to find different information. Now let's say we want to go to the map. We go to map, press OK, and then we can use the up and down arrows to see different categories of things we need. Now other than that, you can press the view button to get different gauges. Classic, for example. This button right there is for Volkswagen voice control, as you can see. But if you're connected with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, you can press and hold this and it will use either Siri or Google Voice Assistant, that face button. Previous song, next song. Volume control. This right there is a quick way to get to those assist systems. So you have lane assist, blind spot, rear traffic alert, and front assist. Blind spot is right there on your side. It's only a visual thing, not an audible. Rear traffic will hit the brakes when you're reversing if somebody's behind you. And front assist will hit the brakes in case you fail to do so in front. Lane assist is something you usually disable. So remember, a quick way to get here is through this button right there. Then assist systems comes on, and you can use the up and down arrows for control and press OK to enable or disable any. Usually I disable lane assist because if you are not using your blinker as you take turns or migrate lanes, it will feel like a bad alignment because it will pull you back in. So if you're driving without blinkers a lot, make sure that is disabled. From here, the car is equipped with advanced cruise control. To use that, you first press on this button right there, and as you see, your odometer goes away. So you press that button away, the odometer goes away, and then you can press set and it will carry whatever speed you're doing, or in our case, we'll set one using the plus and minus. If you hold it, it will go in intervals of 5. So here we have set 50 miles an hour, and we choose the distance we want between the car, us, and in front, or with us and in front of us. 1 car length, 2, 3, so on and so forth. Now, what this advanced cruise control does is, let's say we're traveling at 50 miles an hour and we approach a car going slower than that. This car will match the speed of the car in front of us, keep a safe braking distance that we choose using this button right there. 1, 2, or whatever it is. It will keep that safe distance. If that car comes to a slower speed, your car will match it automatically. If that car comes to a complete stop, so will your car. Your car will stop. Now, you don't need to hit the brake. If you ever hit the brake as you're using this feature, you're going to have to fully hit the brake yourself afterwards. And if the car comes to a complete stop, what you'll have to do is you don't have to hold the brake, but once the car starts moving, just give a quick tap on the accelerator and you can take your foot off it once again. That's it there. Now on this screen, you have a Discovery Media Pro screen, as they call it. So most of your buttons are going to be here under menu, and every control is here. On this screen, you are able to wave your hand. That's what this little symbol is for. So you can wave it for controls. It's quirky, but it's fun. And then here you have your radio, of course, where you can set channels using tune, and you digitally scroll and use this for fine point adjustments in case we want 99.7. And then you just press, set, and hold. Now from here, under menu, you have a few other things like media for Bluetooth, navigation, and in navigation, you have my destinations. Go to home address, and when you get home, just store your current position. It'll be easy. To type new ones, just go to new destination and put in an address here. Point of interest and views. And under views is where you can actually have, this is my favorite one, shows how far you can travel with the charge that you have. And then to go back, just use a 3D view right there. Simple and easy. And there's settings, of course, that you can mess around with. So just remember, when you go to the menu thing, let's go to menu. If you go to radio and settings here, this is settings focused on just the radio itself. If you go to menu and media, this is going to be settings on the Bluetooth. If you go to menu and vehicle, this will actually be settings on the vehicle. And here we can personalize it to change the name. Just hit the arrow and rename account. And you can do other things as well, of course, with the vehicle. For example, change the locks, opening and closing. Convenience opening allows you to, the first time you open the door, you press on this switch, on the driver's switch, you hold it, and it'll open all the windows to let hot air out. This is where you can change the door if you want single doors or all doors. Mirrors and wipers, you can take away the automatic wiping, which makes no sense. But yeah, and then time and date. GPS, daylight savings is done now, so we don't need that. And yeah, now here, if you go to menu, like I said, it puts everything together. There's your App Connect for Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Let's go back to menu. Also vehicle. Under vehicle, you'll have a lot of different funny things like e-displays, range monitor, which is nice. It shows how much is getting used by, for example, AC. You will regain those miles back by turning off your AC or by turning off your heated seat. That will turn and return you back the miles. That's my favorite screen here. Other than that, you have energy flow, statistics of recuperation, driving data. Since start, 3 or 4 starts, and since refuel, this will take about 100 miles of driving to become accurate. Think Blue Trainer is a score out of 100, how economically well you are driving. Every notch here is 30 seconds of driving, so when it's full like that, you've been great. Here, a little less, as you see. Not as well. Stepped on the gas a little harder. And vehicle status shows if there's any errors with the car when you open your doors, any electrical issues. This will give you a description of it. That's also where you can switch drivers. And once again, you can see tire pressure monitoring system all by swiping the screen or using the arrows. Now, another one is an e-manager. An e-manager is something that I'll definitely have to send you some more resources on if you're interested in using it, but also Googling it, YouTube, there's a lot of informational sources on this. This is how you can set delayed charging. You can also program the car to be at a certain temperature during a certain time of day. So for example here, let's say we enable it. We go to change here. Let's say you depart at 9 in the morning every day except Saturday, Sunday. We set that. We want it on repeat. And we can set a charging location like your home, for example. We'll store a new one, call it home. And then we can edit it to be, hey, let's have our climate control, right? Let's have our charging. We want maximum charging. We want to use off-peak power during certain times. So the car uses off-peak power for charging and during this time, and the car will have a certain climate set for you. For example, let's see, how do we get to the climate settings? We have the car be at 72 degrees during that time. So that's a little thing on that. I'll disable this for now. Now, other than that, here we have our heated seat for driver and passenger down below, the intensity of temperature, different modes. On e-golfs, it's always on eco, so the passenger will have to spin his to control it, and then we can sync it so both sides do exactly the same. You also have menu. If you press menu, you get a digital look on temperature. So you can use this to control your temperature versus the bottom one. They both do the same thing. If you press on the dot, you can get the same thing, the strength, all that. Now, you can't activate your defroster by pressing on here, but if you press on menu and go to this one, this will activate it without the blower. So the blower won't be working, and it will just be the copper wire that's in the windshield. It's a little hard to see on camera, but you guys can kind of see it. It's very hard, actually. Extremely hard. Let's see if we can get the focus here. Nope. But if you look at your windshield, you'll see right about right there, there's a little lines that run through it going down. So there's a copper wire infused into your windshield, which will keep it defrosted. Yeah, so here's that. Other than that, we have different mode buttons. When you press the mode button, you can select between normal, eco, which limits your throttle and acceleration, or eco plus limits your air conditioning, limits your top speed is about 60 miles if I remember correctly. And yeah, so for now, we'll keep it on normal. Other than that, you have reverse. When you go in reverse, the camera pops up. There's drive. And then if you go take the stick and move it down, it puts it into braking mode. What braking mode does is as soon as you let go of the accelerator, the car uses the battery to recharge your car. Less use on brakes, and you really don't even have to use the brake pedal. And then if you want to go back to drive, just move it down. So moving it down is how you can cycle through. There it is. And then you can use the up and or the side to side to get recuperation stages. So you get heavy braking, medium braking, very light braking as soon as you let go of the throttle, and no braking as you let go of the throttle. And you can kind of see that through there. Also, when you go to B, that's maximum. That's like having stage 3. But you can always use the up and down and go into drive and going left and right with it. Left and right with the stick to get those stages. Just remember, stage 3 is almost like having B. Other than that, you can always press this to activate the park pilot, which will show us how we're turning the steering wheel. It will show sensors of front and back. And lastly, the car does have self-parking. Now, self-parking is an interesting one. Let's see if I can show you actually here. So in self-parking mode, let's say we want to park right there. We would want to engage the park button right over here, right by the shifter. And you see how now the car's saying this is giving us parallel parking, we can kind of tell. So we press that same button one more time. Oh, it's only detecting parallel parking. So let's see why that is. Let's see if we can get it to park parallel here. So it's a little bit hard while holding the phone and having no help. So bear with me here. But let's see if I can get the car to park us. right there behind or in front of this white car. So as we approach it, we hit that button right over here, and we watch this screen for instructions in the front. We might have to approach at a different angle, and right there you can already see, so it's starting to think something. So from here, you use your indicator, you put the car in reverse if you need to reverse, and then you watch. So there's little indicators saying how much movement is needed to be done before it's complete. So here, as you can see, the car is fully rotating on itself, and you just have to keep an eye on the mirrors. And just keep a general eye. But the car parks itself fairly well. And then eventually, the car will say, that indicator is indicating for you to put your foot on the brake. From there, it wants you to put the car into drive. Once you're in drive, the car will adjust itself. And that's it. Pretty much at that point, I feel comfortable and I want to stop. That's a little close. I don't need the car to go any further. Put it into park and it ends it. And that's it. That's the eGolf SEL. Other than the little things here, if you like how the door lights come on, then just use this right there. With this enabled, every time you open the doors, the lights will come on. Close it, lights will come off. This is all manual controls. You have an emergency taco holder here. And this is for Volkswagen CarNet. This will connect you to information services. This is roadside, and this is 911 calls. This doesn't go directly to 911, of course. This is through Volkswagen. When you talk to a representative, they'll be able to connect you to fire, paramedics, or whoever you need to. Alrighty, bye-bye.